Hi guys, Frisbee here. How you doing? Okay, welcome to the start of what I hope will be another series now on this channel, which is of course Space Engineers. Now, as you can see, I've built a little Mars type rover here with a sort of Bogie suspension. But before we get to that, so the first thing I had to do was find my way around the game, get used to putting blocks together, see what was possible, what wasn't, find all the controls, and it's such a massive game that it took quite a long time. It took me by surprise actually just how big and complex it was. But given that it's a couple of years old, I don't see why that's just such a surprise. Finding out that I could easily and quickly build large buildings. I'm really into architecture, and especially science fiction architecture was great. But then when I discovered that it was easy to copy them and drop them and watch them fall over and break, that was even more fun. So I thought, yes, plenty of scope here. So I mean, I'm going to need some direction in this game because it's such a big game. There's so many different things you can get up to. Do you play all the time in survival mode? I mean, do you go into multiplayer? What do you do? So you can leave some comments for me, whatever you think I should take this, because rather than just building a different creation every week, it's probably going to be better if I base build and get into mining and do all those other things. So a lot to choose. Okay, so once I'd finished smashing up the place and I'd got the hang of flying around in the suit and putting blocks together, I thought, let's go over and pay the neighbours a visit. We'll go and see the pirates at the headquarters and we'll smash the crap out of their place. So I jumped into the nearest fighter and it's time to start learning to fly. It's really quite easy and intuitive, since it's the same as the walking and the same as the jetpack. There's not really much to the flying. I found it very simple. What I found less simple was not getting shot down by pirate ships and drones and what have you. So just as I was approaching their base, I got shot down, but it didn't matter because it was all part of the plan. Because the next thing I wanted to do was practice getting around quickly and using tools and stuff. So I attacked them, not with a gun or with a rifle or anything like that, but with a grinder. I went after the whole fleet with a grinder and I took out the entire headquarters with a grinder. Crazy you might think, but by the time I'd finished it off, I was more than an expert enough at moving around. And I'd gotten to understand a lot of stuff, so that only took about an hour, but it was good fun. It was later on that I discovered that you could just right click and delete it. You don't even have to use the grinder. But anyway, we put paid to them and I destroyed everything. Well, silenced it, put it that way. Alrighty, so now I decided I was going to build the rover on Mars, but the first thing I noticed when I got to Mars was it has got a couple of large moons hanging in the sky. And that is kind of weird because Mars doesn't have large moons hanging in the sky. It's got two potatoes, Phobos and Deimos. Right, so the first thing to do is build a basic run around and try to learn all the little bits and pieces like the LCD panels and timers and switches, and they quickly mount up, and the controls are super complicated compared to, say, Siege or Scrap Mechanic or whatever. But I got on okay. The only thing I couldn't do initially was figure out how to make rotors and pistons in that work, because I didn't understand the toolbar configuration. But that was okay. I got it later on because I had to anyway in order to build the rover. But I just enjoyed getting to know the game, flying about the place. It's really beautiful to look at. Sometimes I was running it in low res because I was getting big problems with that, and then other times high res. But I mean, it's a 64-bit game. And it is pretty massive, so it's going to take its toll. Anyway, as you can see, this looks like a rover graveyard around here, because I'd also discovered that the best way just to make copies is just to click on them and dump it somewhere else, so that you can just back up and go to one of the other ones. And that's exactly what I did. Okay, but let's get to the rover. I never miss an opportunity to tell people that my name is actually on the Curiosity rover on Mars. I put it on maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, like when it was still 2-3 years away from launching. So I'm quite obsessed with Mars and the Curiosity rover, so rocker bogies is one of my things. Now, what I discovered quickly is you cannot put the ordinary suspension wheels or anything like that on the end of an arm that's supported by one or more rotors. You can't operate it from the cockpit, you need to operate it from the toolfig, the tool configuration boxes at the bottom. So that was a big learning curve. But eventually I figured out how to make a very basic one. So that's not too bad. And as you can see, it is rockering in its bogies there. It's moving up and down independently. Because you can't use a differential gear because there isn't one, so you have to come up with other ways around that. So check both sides. Both sides were going okay, and I thought, here we go. We've got ourselves a little bogie. Let's try it out. Now this was only running in straight lines at the moment. It did have the ability to turn the 4 corner wheels, but initially I just ran it in a straight line, so I got used to it, and then I went after the steering thing, which, as you will see, was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Now this part's quite unfortunate because I had figured it all out and I had the steering working perfectly. I never recorded it, but then it glitched and I could not get it to straighten itself out again. So I could only have all the wheels going the one way. They didn't respond to any controls at all. Tried changing everything, tried deleting groups and putting new groups back in. Reversing out, I tried everything. As you can see, there's a lot of controllers on this one little rover, but in the end it wouldn't change, so I just had to stick to crabbing alongside. But I learned everything I need to learn about operating rotors, etc., on the end of other rotors and other rotors, so it was a good lesson. So what we did is I took the bogie to the nearest crater and I just dumped it in it. Not very environmentally friendly, especially on a nice shiny new planet, but I thought, hey, what the hell. So I just let it slip down to the bottom of the crater. I'm going to stop using these wheels as well because they look a bit phony the way they contact with the ground. The bigger wheels are better, the 5x5s, so it'll be a much bigger one next time. But at least I got to see that the rockers were bogying, and I'll put a restrictor on the angles next time so that it can't do that. The arms can't turn beyond a certain point. Lots to learn. Let me know what you thought of this first one, where you think I should be going, what you would like to see, and etc, etc. Just comment on any aspect of it at all. Brand new series, really looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, bye.